next?
Anyone remember those good old days? You know, the ones where you had your light gun, you got to shoot things actually at the television, but you'd have to have a CRT TV because apparently you'd take a unionized team of dock workers to lift them suckers. Well, they're back. House of the Dead, a series that has been one of my personal favorites since the original on the Sega Saturn. I actually bought that sucker first day it came out. Never regretted it. Now we're getting House of the Dead 4 on the PlayStation Network. The question is, does it measure up to the classic light gun experience? House of the Dead 4 is a light gun shooter, which is awesome because anyone can play these games. It's just point and click. Just point your move controller at the screen, or if you're one of those people who likes to get the plastic moldings that actually makes your move controller feel like a gun, you know, knock yourself out, whatever makes you happy. But the fact of the matter is that it's very simple. Point, pull the trigger, you're shooting. That's how you play. And then occasionally you'll have to shake the controller, and that's how you reload. Some parts of games will have you shake the controller for other purposes, but pretty much it's mostly to reload. At any rate, so Goldman's producing monsters, and that's basically the story, but who pays attention to the story in a light gun game anyway? That's the beauty of these games, is that even though they do tell a story, they're half an hour to beat at most. You can beat this game in 30 minutes of a straight playthrough. And that's awesome because if you come home from a hard day at work, throw on some House of the Dead, kill zombies, go on with your life. It's not like those other ones where you can go on indefinitely or it doesn't have a definite stopping point. Instead, House of the Dead is just click start, stop, it's done. It's over. There you go. And I rather like that about the light gun series. That in addition to the fact, like I said earlier, that they're very simple point and clicks. Another notable feature with House of the Dead is that it's slightly diverged from previous games in the series. Previously, when you shoot zombies, chunks of their face would fly off, and so what you'd have is you'd have a deformity where all of a sudden you'd have just like a sliver of head left, and you'd have to shoot that, which gave it a little more challenge. Now in this one, it's just chunks of flesh flying off, and the zombies eventually turn to this charred crispy and fall to the ground. It's no longer where you can actually blast limbs off and such. I enjoyed the original deformity more than I enjoyed this, but still, it's a light gun game, so you deal with what you have. It's still fun to shoot things. As an added bonus, when you beat the game, you have another crack at the Magician. The Magician actually is from House of the Dead 1 fans. He was the final boss of House of the Dead 1, and they've been able to weave him into almost every single game in the series, including one where he comes back and he's all nasty with worms in him. This time, he seems to be well in control of his faculties, and he's actually trying to take you down in one of the hardest battles I've had in a light gun game, next to the Emperor, which was in House of the Dead 2. So is House of the Dead 4 worth your time? Well, to answer that question, I have to ask, are you willing to pay $10 for a solid light gun shooter? Because that's what's currently going on. Actually, they have a special right now where it is $7 for PlayStation Plus members, and you get a little bit of bonus avatar, and the avatar wasn't that big of a deal. Nevertheless, it is House of the Dead. It is a light gun shooter. It's a very solid game. If you're not into light gun games, skip this one. But if you enjoy shooting everything that flies at you on a rail, hey, House of the Dead is definitely a blast. It's definitely one of those games I recommend for the average person. However, from a moral standpoint, I would say that House of the Dead may be one of those games that you would want to filter from your children. Well, you can't turn some of the gore off. The game itself is zombies coming at you, along with tarot card creatures and a lot of scary images that may be a little bit too much for younger viewers. So, as a parent, it's one that you may want to consider keeping away from your kids, depending on where they're at and what you think their maturity level is. Also, the fact that they're using tarot cards, I mean, different religions have their feelings against tarot cards, so you have to make some judgment calls as far as how you want to expose your kids or what you want to do in that particular case.